There are 5 drinks that you can make tomorrow morning in about 2 minutes that change whether your body spends the next hour storing belly fat or burning it. Not subcutaneous belly fat, visceral fat. The deep fat that wraps around your organs and pushes your stomach out from the inside, the dangerous kind. Now, here's where I'm gonna be different from what you see on the internet. I'm a medical doctor, so I'm gonna give you the 5 drinks and I'm also gonna give you the truth. And the truth is that no drink will melt your belly fat. And if a video promises that, close it. But the right morning drink does something real. It flattens your blood sugar spike that tells your body to store visceral fat in the first place. Essentially, if you get a high spike, your body stores. Flat, calm morning, your body burns. That's the whole game. I call it the 5 flatline method, and stick with me to the end because I'll show you exactly how to stack them into one real morning routine that you can start tomorrow. And by the way, you're not meant to drink all 5, and drink number 1 is one that almost nobody's talking about. Let me show you exactly what I mean. I set up a little experiment. This is regular Coke, about 9 teaspoons of sugar in a can, and these 2 funnels here represent your esophagus, and here the mason jar represents your stomach. And these 2 funnels are 2 versions of your morning. Now, version number 1, you have a drink of Coke, no barrier, and all that sugar hits your bloodstream, and that's the spike. This is the signal to store fat. Same Coke, same sugar, but now, what if you added psyllium gel in the way? And let's look at the difference. So in here we have psyllium husk, and we're going to add this first, right, into our stomach. We're going to add the entire psyllium. And as you can see, the psyllium is making its way through our esophagus into our stomach. But now, with this Coke, look at the difference. Now, as you can see, the Coke is slowly entering. It still gets through. Nothing gets removed. Nothing gets flushed away. Now the Coke is just arriving slowly instead of all at once. And that right there is the whole point of the video. When it comes to visceral fat, you have to fight it from 2 angles at once. Now, most people only think about one, and that's why people stay stuck. Angle 1 is you stop accumulating visceral fat. Every time your blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin, and insulin is the signal to store visceral fat. Every spike is you quietly adding to the problem. But if you flatten the spike and you stop feeding it and you burn what's already there, this is the part that connects everything. While your insulin is high, your body physically cannot burn fat efficiently. Insulin is the gatekeeper, and as long as it's up, the door to fat burning is shut. But if you keep your insulin low and flat and you're not stopping storage, you're unlocking the burning, and that's why this works. You can burn the candle at both ends. These 5 drinks are angle 1 that flatten the spike and that keep your insulin calm and make the angle possible. In 2023, there was a meta-analysis pulled together, and they had 19 randomized controlled trials, 19 separate studies. Over 4,000 people found that psyllium significantly lowered their fasting blood sugar and improved their insulin resistance. And in a separate placebo-controlled trial, 6 grams a day measurably shifted fat storage away from the belly forward, that apple-shaped pattern, the exact fat that we're going after, from a fiber and not a drug. So I usually get one question about psyllium husk more than any other. When do you drink it? 10 to 15 minutes before you eat, not with your food. And think back to the demo that I just showed you. The gel had to be sitting in the funnel before the Coke hit it. So it's the same thing in your stomach. The gel has to be formed and waiting before breakfast arrives, and if it's too late, you've missed your window. So how to make it? We want 1 teaspoon of psyllium husk, which is roughly 5 grams and not a tablespoon, and I want you to gently stir it in a glass of water, at least 12 ounces at 350 milliliters, right? And you can use warm water when you make your psyllium husk, and this is about 350 ml. Just stir it, then drink it immediately, right, as you've just mixed it here. And I want you to drink more water after it because it gels pretty fast. It's getting pretty thick already. If you sip it slowly, you will be drinking a sludge, and this can be dangerous. Now, if you're new to fiber, stay at 1 teaspoon for the first week, and some early bloating is normal, and I highly recommend that you build up slowly to it. Now, I have to warn you, if you have any inflammatory gut conditions like irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's, check with your doctor first. If this thing is landing for you, if you guys are enjoying this so far, don't forget to leave the video the gentle thumbs up. If you're on TV, tap down and hit the little like button. And I see no one else in the space talking about this and also showing experiments. And if you guys want more of these, let me know in the comment section down below. So that's drink 1. Drink number 2 does the same job, but it brings something that the psyllium can't. Drink number 2 is a chia seed drink. Now, chia works on the same principle that you just saw. It's a soluble fiber and the gel forms. Now, basically you add water to your chia and 20 minutes later, it becomes a pudding. Same gel, but same slow drip when it comes to your stomach. I won't go over this one in detail because you already got the mechanism, but chia reduces your blood sugar spike from a meal by 22 to 30%. That's roughly a quarter of your spike that is gone. And chia brings 2 things that psyllium doesn't: protein and omega-3 fats. You're flattening the spike, and then you're also getting real nutrition in the same glass. And on an honest note, chia is actually a huge appetite killer, and the research is pretty soft on that, so I'm not going to oversell this. It will help make your spike a lot flatter with the nutritional bonuses, but it's not this magic appetite switch. So 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, that's about 12 grams, in 8 to 10 ounces of water, that's around 300 milliliters. And then you want to stir it, right, like I did here. Stir it for about 30 seconds and then let it sit for 5 minutes. And then I want you to stir it again. And if you want, you can squeeze some lemon in there if you want. Same start rule as the psyllium. If you're new to fiber, begin with a teaspoon, and that's drink number 2. And already, watch how the gel has formed with the chia, just like the psyllium did comparatively. Now, drink 3 is the one with the strongest evidence for visceral fat specifically, and it's probably already in your kitchen. Drink number 3 is matcha. Now, matcha is green tea, but instead of steeping it with leaves and throwing them out, you're drinking the whole leaf grounded into a powder. That means it's far more active, and the active compound in this matcha is something called catechins. To be specific, that catechin is called EGCG. Now, I went all the way to Japan to get this matcha, and here's why matcha earns a visceral fat video specifically on its own. Now, most fat loss claims are about total body weight, right? But this is different. There was a randomized control trial, and in a 12-week study, adults carrying a lot of visceral fat drank a catechin-rich drink, and it produced measurable results. And they measured the drop in visceral fat and the fat around the organs, while the control group saw nothing. Measured organ fat result from the tea was measured. That's crazy that you saw fat drop from just drinking this one drink. So I'm going to be honest here as well. Not every trial agrees with the research on matcha, and the ones that have worked use high doses of these catechins, more than a single wheat cup. That's exactly why matcha is the smart way to drink tea. Essentially, you're drinking the whole leaf, and it's powdered and concentrated. You actually get a meaningful dose of that catechin that I was talking about. And the second reason why matcha works is that it's also physiological as much as it's physical. Matcha gives you the caffeine, but it also gives you something called L-theanine, which takes the edge off. It gives you more of a calm, steady energy and no jitters and no crash at 10 a.m. that you'd usually get. And that matters because the crashes and stress drive the exact cravings that put the visceral fat button on. And that happens to me as well. So I love myself a strong cup of coffee, but it can wind me up and it can impact my sleep, but matcha doesn't. So this is the mistake that everybody's making, is adding hot boiling water to matcha. Please don't do that, because it makes the matcha bitter and it damages the actual compound that you're drinking it for. So let's say you have a kettle. Let the kettle cool a minute or 2 after boiling. We don't want it at boiling temperature. We want it at around 175 degrees Fahrenheit or about 80 degrees Celsius. And first whisk it into a paste and then top up Please don't add sugar. The sugar is the spike, and the spike is the whole thing that we're trying to avoid. And let me know in the comments, so far, which of these 5 do you already drink in the morning? And I'll read every single comment. I'm genuinely curious to see what most of you guys are drinking. And that's matcha drink number 3. But drink 4 is one that even I got skeptical about. But until I read the research, it was undeniable. And drink number 4 is apple cider vinegar. And the glucose data on this is genuinely wild. Now, vinegar significantly blunts both blood sugar and the insulin response to a meal. Both, the two things this whole video is about. Now, the active compound in apple cider vinegar is called acetic acid. And that's essentially what makes the vinegar sharp. And what this acetic acid does is that it slows how fast your stomach empties. And it also helps your muscle take up glucose. And it also nudges your enzyme called AMPK. And you may be thinking, okay, Dr. Mike, what is AMPK? Think of AMPK as your body's low fuel warning light. And when it switches on, the message is stop storing and start burning. And remember that name because it's also going to play a role in the very next drink. And one honest take here, the real vinegar benefit is to help lower the meal spike. It's not a permanent cure for insulin resistance. It's a spike tool. But that spike control, if you do it every morning, is exactly what we're building. Now, this is a real warning, and I'm not skipping it. Apple cider vinegar is acidic. Please never drink it alone. It can damage your tooth enamel, it can irritate your throat, and it always needs to be diluted, always. So 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and it's this cloudy kind, in a large glass of water. In here, I have about 250 mLs, and please, dilution is not optional. Drink it through a straw to protect your teeth, and don't brush your teeth straight after. And if you have history of acid reflux or you've had stomach ulcers, skip this one. You've got the 4 others, and that's drink number 4. Now, drink 5 is one that will surprise you the most. And I already drink this every morning, and you've never been told why it works. Now, drink 5 is black coffee. Yes, coffee on a fat loss list. Now, you probably expected me to say that coffee is the problem, and it isn't. Everyone credits caffeine. Now, for visceral fat, caffeine isn't the main story. It's a compound called cholinergic acid, and coffee is one of the richest resources of this on the planet. And the evidence here is strong enough that I want you to hear it. There's a controlled trial of 150 overweight adults. One group drank coffee with high cholinergic acid, and the other drank coffee low in cholinergic acid. Same coffee otherwise. 12 weeks later, the high cholinergic acid group had significantly less visceral fat, a smaller waist, and a lower body weight. Same drink. Now, the only difference was that cholinergic acid and visceral fat moved. Now, cholinergic acid does 2 things, and I'm going to show you how both worked. Number 1, it slows glucose absorption in your gut, flattening the spike. The same job every drink on this list is doing. It works on that same AMPK pathway that I told you about before, the low fuel light warning, nudging your body towards burning fat instead of storing it. And coffee belongs here for the exact same reason as the other 4. It's not magic, but it's a spike control, but only works if you don't wreck it. So it has to be black coffee, and that's the protocol. The moment you add sugar or a sweet syrup, you've created the exact spike that you've drank the coffee to avoid. A splash of milk, a little bit is fine, but I recommend going full black if you want the full benefits. Sugars and syrups are out. And don't make the coffee the very first thing the moment you wake. Wait for about 30 to 60 minutes from waking up, because essentially your cortisol is already high on waking. No need to stack coffee on top of that. And if you're caffeine sensitive, you can do decaf. That still has the cholinergic acid, that still carries the benefit we're looking for. And that's all 5. Now, let me show you how you can fit this together, because you're not meant to drink all 5 at once. So here's the part that I promised you. What a real morning actually looks like, because nobody's drinking 5 drinks before work, and you don't need all of them. You need the method, and the method is 3 simple moves. Move 1, the moment you wake up, drink plain water, just rehydrate. Move 2, before breakfast or before your first meal, you need a spike flattener. You can go for psyllium or chia in water. 10 to 15 minutes before you eat, so the gel is formed and waiting for the exact moment food enters, just like I showed you in the funnel. Move number 3. With a breakfast, your warm drink, you can have a matcha or a black coffee. And the apple cider vinegar, if you use it, goes alongside that first meal, but not on an empty stomach. And that's it. Water and fiber gel before food, a warm drink with food. Those are 3 moves, not 5 drinks. And that's the 5 flatline method. And you can start tomorrow without buying anything exotic. And remember the 2 angles. And this is what ties it together. None of these drinks are magic bullets. And I told you that at the start, and I mean it. What they do is help you hit both angles at once. They stop accumulating new visceral fat, and by keeping your insulin low and flat, they free your body to burn what's already there. The candle will burn from both ends. And if you do that every morning, this will add up quickly, quietly, and steadily, and exactly in the direction that you want. And if you got value from this, here's the one thing that I ask. If there's a specific drink or food you want me to break down like this next with actual studies, comment down below, Dr. Mike, break down more. And whichever drink gets the most recommendations, I'll do that next in the next video. And let me know too if you want more in-depth versions of these drinks. And my video on foods that quietly drive visceral fat up is on screen now. And if the morning drink sets the tone, the foods are the next thing that you need to watch. So watch this next.